get to the next day, which was Monday, and you could tell that the sea just got considerably more blue, which sounds silly to say, but it was just beautiful. It was just so pretty. So of course my cousin and I had to go out there and tan. I read a bit. It was just a really nice, really relaxing day. We also tended to go to like the breakfast buffet a lot, which was really cool. I'm trying to remember the terms. Again, my memory is so bad, but I will ask my cousin, who has the best memory ever, and be like, what was the name of that buffet again? Because all these names I'm sure are very similar to like all the other Royal Caribbean cruises, so if it's helpful for you if you're watching this, because you're going on a cruise soon, then I would definitely add all the names on the screen if I forget to say them. And I would say that this might have been my favorite day just because I ended up seeing a Mamma Mia Broadway play. 1, love Mamma Mia. 2, I did not know if it was like Broadway. Like, maybe it's like a Broadway rendition, I don't know, but it was amazing. I felt like they did such a good job. I kind of like re-remembered one of my like favorite hobbies, which I guess I totally forgot about in my childhood, but one time I was visiting Hollywood with my parents, and we got to go to all of the things like Cirque du Soleil, the Blue Man Group, I think it was called. I've never seen a Broadway play till Mamma Mia, technically. But I just remember when I was there, I think I was like 9 years old when I went to Hollywood, but I love going to shows. Like, it is just the coolest thing to me. And I did not know that the cruise like kind of had that till we were there. And they had like this really nice app where you can see literally the schedule of their cruise day, where you could just go to all these different events almost every single day. I mean, the night before, which I forgot to mention, my cousin and I went to like this 25-year-old like young adult hangout, which was kind of cool. It was like super windy because it was on one of the decks. And it was like late at night, it was like 9 p.m. So for me, it seemed super late because, again, I guess the 72 hours before that was crazy. Before that, my friend's engagement, like it was just, I was exhausted. But now like I want to go to like another play or like some sort of show thing because I had such the best time like going to, I think there was like 3 other show type things that I'll have in the vlog that it was one of my favorite things to go to. So now we're on the next day and I'll just add the footage here.
See your beautiful outfit.
So the main thing I remember about this day was every night we had dinner that we had to be at 5 p.m. which we kind of wish we would have picked 7 just because it was almost too early because there's so much food options everywhere. I mean, you could eat anytime, all the buffets, like you can get a hot dog up on this like the 16th floor, I think, like all these different things, desserts even. And so that was kind of hard to navigate because we were very hungry at 5 p.m. So that's one thing. I mean, it depends what time you normally like to eat dinner, but we definitely would have picked 7 p.m. to go. But what I really like too is almost every night there was a theme night, which my cousin told me about, and I was just like, oh, that's cool. But I ended up loving it. Like, I bought all these different dresses. I did a reel of like all of the dresses I thrifted to then bring to this cruise. Some of them I had before, but this night, for example, I think it was, I want to say it was either like Dress to Impress night or something like that, but my grandma's outfit was so cute I had to get a video of it. But then like the dinner theme to eat was Taste of Italy, which was so good. And then of course later that night we also were able to go to another show, which I liked it. I thought it was cool. My family was like kind of late to like meet there, and we had like reservations for almost all of these because we had someone like kind of plan our cruise that my uncle and aunt knew. And so we went to this event, my cousin and I got there, but there were so many people in line. Like, we had reservations and some people were like, what are you in line for? What are you in line for? And I'm like, oh, we have reservations, and they let us through because everyone was like cutting everybody. We're like, sorry, like we had it on our phone like just to like get seats, but there was so many people already there because we went there like right after dinner. And by the time my uncle, my aunt, my grandparents got there, there was just crowds of people behind this big show. So they couldn't sit down. I guess they watched it and they were like, yeah, this is not fun, we don't like this. But I thought it was cool. Like, we got to watch a bunch of like acrobatic stuff and it was really cool. It reminded me of when I went to Hollywood, so I will add that here. So now we're on to the the next morning, which I think we just started the day by going to the Vitality Cafe, which my grandma was a huge fan of. I guess she got like acupuncture, that's how you say it, almost every day of the cruise, which I'm really happy for her. She said she loved it, and the guy that was doing it was just amazing. They also had like a juice bar there. You can get like massages like back there. I think they even had haircuts, which I was kind of tempted to do because I just felt like my hair, having curly hair, it was so flat and it was just losing all its volume because my layers were just gone since I got my haircut at graduation, which was like April. So today was our first excursion, which is when we went to Roatán Honduras, I believe is how you say it, and it was super fun. It was, I think, my favorite excursion day. My family would say otherwise, but I'm a huge love to learn different things when I'm at different places. We had like a bus tour. So essentially, I'll have clips that I read after I talk about this, and you don't want to hear me talk too much, but essentially we had this bus tour and we got to go to all these different places. We learned about like coffee beans, we learned about coconuts, we learned about cocoa butter. We tried rum cake, which was so good. They had like little samples, and that's where you'd see like this huge greenery and like all these mountains, because we were like pretty high up where we got this rum cake. It was so delicious. But then the other things I didn't get to film was we got to stop at some shops and like some little stores. I got a little magnet thing, which is really cute. I have like a little magnet collection of places that I've been, so that was really fun to get one. It had like a little parrot on it. Honestly, I just think it was an ideal day. Like our tour guide, she was so nice. She ended up having lunch with my grandma and my grandpa, he was there too. And we literally, I had the best shrimp and plantains of my life. It was so good. And to top it off, we got to go to like another beach where that restaurant was on. The one thing about cruises, especially the excursions, it's like going. Like you have to get off the ship and get down to the port and walk all of this way to get to your area, and then you're in line, you're waiting to start your excursion, all of this stuff. So I think the reason why my family wasn't a huge fan is just because it was so fast paced. Like every shop, every place we went to, like even like the rum cake, like it was just so fast. Like we had to get off the bus and on the bus, off the bus, off the bus, because I think our excursion started at like 10 a.m. and we had to be back on the ship by like 3, right before dinner at 5, which was not our choice. Again, if we could have asked for 7 p.m. for a dinner, I think it would have helped it a little bit, but I think they made everyone have to get back on the ship by like 3 or 4 p.m.
Hi everybody, here I am with my beautiful granddaughters.
Look how cute my grandma is, everyone. We're about to go to, what's it called?
Roatán, Honduras.
Yes, and it's so pretty outside, I'll show you.
So guys, he doesn't have a map, but this is the center of the island. Este es el centro de la isla. The number 5 store where you can find a nice bag. There, bamboo. Back then they used to make a house out of bamboo for it. Yeah.
I guess this day was honestly super jam-packed because now that I'm looking at the footage, it was like a crazy long, amazing day in my opinion. Because of course we got to be back for dinner, and then my cousin went out to see the sunset, and then after that we were hungry again because dinner was again a little too early, so we got pizza, which they had, at least on this cruise ship, there was like complimentary pizza, like it didn't cost anything. I do want to add that a lot of people were talking about like the drink packages, just like have alcohol drinks. as well as like the unlimited, so you could just have like as much as you want. I personally did not spend my money on that. Like, I was just thinking, hey, if I want to have a drink every once in a while, I'll just pay out of pocket for one. I just didn't think I'd drink more than enough to even qualify for as much money as I'd be spending. I want to say it was like $250 for that. So all I paid for was like water bottles, which I'd recommend because you get water sometimes, but it's good to just have like a water bottle with you, especially when you're going on excursions when it was so hot. And there's also a drink package where you get your own like soda cup and then go to any of the soda machines you wanted. But from my remembrance, I think like all my family that had that, they never used their soda cup. So again, I was like, I'm glad I did not pay money for that because I'm good with water. And like, especially at the breakfast buffet, like I could have orange juice, I could have apple juice, and those drinks you could have when you go to your dinner at 5 p.m. So for me, I was chilling. And the last part I'll add after this is we then went to karaoke later that night. I think they had it almost every other night there, and it was my first time going, and it was so fun. I did not go because I'm definitely not gonna be singing on a stage, but it was really so fun to like see everyone performing, just having a great old time, and it was really fun.
Hey, reunited, and it feels so good. Here, Raina, come here. I'ma need some whiskey glasses if I'm gonna make it through. You sit back here on the party, that's annoying.
So what was interesting about the cruise is like you have like 3-4 days, I want to say, on the ship, and then you have your excursions like back to back. Obviously it's that way because they have to like get to like all the destinations, so it's probably why we're on the ship for so long. But then once we like got to the excursion days, like it just seemed everything just flew by. It was really fun for sure, but it was a lot. So the next day, our second excursion was, I think it was Costa Maya, and we booked the beach escape, which was pretty much just hanging at the beach. This was the second nicest like beach escape we did because the next day we went on one and it was even more luxurious. I think we spent considerably more for that one, which I would almost say that it was worth it because this one in particular was just a little, it felt a little unsafe, and it was just kind of messy, and it just wasn't what we thought we were paying for essentially. But regardless, it was still fun and beautiful, and some of the places that we were at. So I didn't find much after that excursion. We had to get back again at the 3 p.m. And knowing me and my cousin, we probably just went out till the sunset again. I read a ton on this ship, so whenever I wasn't filming, I was probably reading. I've just been getting in my reading grind lately, and I think I want to do a video of like all my favorite books this summer because it has just been so fun. Without me talking too much, I'm just gonna add the footage from the next day, which was our third and final excursion. So that excursion was what I'd say was the most like luxurious. It was just better. It wasn't like as crowded. It wasn't a lot of people. People weren't like going up to you and trying to like sell you stuff. It felt a little better. And then we got back to the ship as we do. I didn't get to film like when we were like walking back to the port, but let me tell you, like every single excursion we had, it was such a long walk to like get back to all the shops they had selling all this different stuff. I mean, even to like really expensive jewelry. But the pier then to like walk to the ship was just so long. We finally got back on the cruise ship and then had dinner, and then we had another show, which of course, knowing me, I was super excited about. It was called The Blue Planet, which I was not really sure what to expect with this. Like, I thought it was gonna be more like a documentary. I think my family did too, like my grandpa. I thought it was gonna be more like a documentary, like just something really cool with like nature and all this stuff, which kind of it was, but ended up being like a musical play and I noticed the same people who were doing the Mamma Mia play. I recognized some faces, and I can't remember if I got any clips because technically you're not allowed to. I think I got like when they're like bowing or something like that, maybe. And I was just kind of like this really cool musical of people just like performing and like doing like the different seasons, and I don't know, it's really hard to explain. It was a very unique thing, but it was like very, very loud and very just lots of different noises, so it kind of like sucked you in. Again, I loved it. One of my favorite things about the cruise was all of the shows. So then the next day was when we pretty much just got to explore the ship again, because then at this point the ship is going back to Houston. And so I think we were able to then go to like that park area again, which is what my cousin and I see on our balcony, and we got to go to one of those restaurants there, which was so good. I got ribeye steak, and what we learned when we went there is you can get like a food package. I forget like the term or the name, and not eat for free because you're paying for it at one point, but like at discounted prices. So you can go to all of these like really, really good and at the time expensive restaurants, but if you get like this food package, it's not as bad. I think we would have rather done that because I mean the food that we had on the theme nights, like Caribbean night, all that, I mean it was pretty good. But I mean, compared to when we went to this night at this totally other restaurant that we had reservations for through the person that planned our cruise, I think we would have preferred to get that food package rather than when they got the drink package, the soda package, all the things, because the food was just so much better. And I just felt there's less people. The one thing about this cruise is it was just so crowded and there was just so many people all the time. It was just a lot. And for me, I don't really like to be in like big crowds like that, so that was one thing I was not really used to. But this food, amazing. So now it's Sunday, and let me tell you, this was the day to get off of the cruise, and it was the craziest travel day, I think, of my life. It was quite insane. So we finally get off the ship, which was a whole deal. I mean, either you could pick to have your luggage like outside of your room 9 p.m. the night before, and then they grab it and then put it in this area off the cruise ship with all of this luggage. Which I was waiting to hear what my family was thinking, but for me, I'm like, I'd rather just haul my luggage off this ship, just knowing that like I had it with me, which then they all decided to do. So that was like really good. That was like one last step we had to do once we like get off the ship. It's like, oh my gosh, finding our luggage. I guess like they had to like clean and get ready for people to come right back on the ship, like brand new people, which is just crazy for me to think about. And so we ended up having to get off really early in the morning. I think we kind of got off at like 9 a.m. To then head to the airport, which of course they had the shuttle for us to then, like this big bus shuttle to like bring all the people to their specific gate numbers and whatever airline they're using. So I will add that footage here. So what you didn't see, and maybe that more of like B-roll aesthetic footage is funny how real life actually is, it was crazy. The shuttle person that was supposed to take us to the airport, it was supposed to be like a 45-minute drive to like get to the airport. Ended up being like an hour and 15. We don't know if like she went the wrong way. It was just like a really weird bumpy ride. I almost forgot about the main thing. Once we got on the shuttle, obviously people like get your bags and they put them under the bus. And I just don't know what was happening. We were all so confused, and we even asked like, hey, can we help you like put the luggage in there, because it was a lady driving the bus, and apparently like that wasn't allowed. But we really wanted to help her because she just seemed like she didn't really have a lot of help. But then even with that, like no one was putting our luggage into the bus, and so all the other buses left, like they were gone, and we were just sitting there, and she was sitting there. And at one point she's like talking to people. So I would say at that point we were on the bus for like 30-40 minutes just waiting for our luggage to go onto the bus. So I don't know like if there was something holding it up. It didn't seem like it. So that was a little weird. Again, then we had like a really long drive to get to the airport. We get to the airport and for some reason like she can't get us to the right gate. And she has to circle again and circles again. And then all the people on our bus, obviously that we didn't know, but they're kind of like, you know, validly like getting impatient and being like, can we get off this bus? Like we're just gonna get off right now. But at this point, she's on the total opposite side of the airport where like most of all of us need to get to. I forget what gate we were supposed to get to, like the exact letter or number or whatever, but If we would have gotten off of that bus, it was kind of like the game of, is there a way to get to our arrival or departures? Because where she dropped us off and like she just wasn't doing anything for us, we were at the arrivals, which is the opposite of the airport, to get to the departures. Like, that's not where you drop people off. And so people started getting off the bus. If we didn't get off the bus, we'd literally be the only one sitting there, because everyone was just like going and just like grabbing their luggage out from under the bus. And so we were like, should we do that? We were talking to my grandparents, and then we're like, we should just get off because we don't know if this lady could like take us to our arrival gate, like where we're supposed to go. So we finally get our luggage, and then we're like walking into where arrivals are, which again, that's where like baggage claim is and stuff, so that's not where we're supposed to be. And it was a maze and a headache to like figure out how the heck to get to where our departure number was, our gate number, whatever you want to call it. We went on so many elevators, escalators. We were so lost, even though we got some help. Like, we could not find even like where our security gate was, which again, it has to be a specific area of the airport, and we were on the completely opposite side of it. And so we finally get to where we're supposed to go. I think we were flying either American or Alaska. They just get confused in my brain, but regardless, we get up to where we could like finally just give our bags away to like safely like go on the plane / baggage claim. And we walk up there to the desk where normally people are, you know, letting their bags come in, and there's no one there, and there's like a little sign that says something like, we won't be back till 3 p.m. Like, we won't be opening this area for, I want to say Alaska, till 3. And we were like, it's 10:30 in the morning. Because we had to get off the cruise, like we had no option. Maybe it was 11. And so we were like, well, what are we gonna do? And of course, my grandparents, everyone, like, they were starving. Thankfully, there was like a few restaurants in this area, but it's like literally where people like give their bags off. So there's not a lot going on. You know, you go to like all the restaurants once you finally get into the airport and go to your gate and you sit down and go on the plane. So that was crazy. On top of that, I had to fly to Phoenix that day, because that's initially how everything got planned. And I was just gonna go home to Phoenix and have to fly the next day to go to Spokane, because I was planning to see that family again for our annual 4th of July party and for my cousin's 21st birthday, like right after the cruise. But I was talking to my family and I was like, since we have all this time, is there any way that we could figure out a way to like transfer my flight so I can get on a flight with you guys? Like, if it costs extra money, like I will pay it. Because for me, I mean, I didn't even talk about the rest of my summer, but I had so much traveling going on all summer, which I'm so thankful for. But like, the last thing I want to do was just go on another airplane ride, just to go on another one the next morning, go to the same place my family was going that day. Like, I was just like, I want to stay with you guys, like if there's any way that I can go. So thankfully we got that figured out, but apparently I was booked with American that my uncle got me, and they were booked with Alaska, which I don't know how that happened, because it was like with their miles, that doesn't really correlate. But it was just this whole ordeal to like get me off of American, then somehow get those miles back and then go to Alaska. Like, my aunt was just like determined to help me, and she was literally an angel and like helped me figure it out. Again, we had all the time in the world, so I mean, we finally got it figured out, and I was able, thankfully, to go on that same flight with my family. So that was a blessing out of the whole ordeal. But it was just like a crazy day, as you can imagine. I mean, it was just everything that went wrong. I felt like it went wrong. It was just crazy. Of course, you don't see that in the B-reel, but not the B-reel. the B-roll. And so, as I said, I was unable to go with my family, which they were heading to Spokane, Washington, and now I was heading to Spokane, Washington. So I'll add those clips here. So that is the end of my whole travel time with the cruise and getting to then Spokane. Again, it was such an awesome trip. Like, I'm so thankful to just be able to go on a cruise. Like, it was crazy. I'd definitely go on one again. I feel like there'd be a few things I'd do differently. Again, like, I'm glad I didn't get the drink package and the soda package. I would have maybe picked different excursions. Again, I love the bus tour excursion. So cool. Just to be able to see all those things and learn all the things. It was just so cool to me. And go to a beach. Again, it was definitely like back to back, like they were just rushing you the whole time. The other thing too is I feel like I would go on a cruise where maybe it was just like just adults, because on this cruise, I want to say it was like 6,000 people. I feel like that's almost too like lowballing it. I don't know, but regardless, lots of people, and I mean there's kids, there's teenagers, you know, adults and grandparents, all the things. I just think it would have been a little less busy and just a lot going on if it was just like strictly adults. But other than that, I had a great time. Again, I would go again, maybe. I might just do things differently. I also feel like I'd almost rather just go to like an all paid for resort thing. I feel like that'd be just a little less stress. It'd be like the same vibe, just being able to go to somewhere tropical maybe one day, but like not all of like the craziness. Like the cruise is cool when you think about it. It was interesting. So maybe one day I'll have more of an opinion on it. I just think like, do I want to spend all that money on a cruise? I don't know. So it was fun. I'm just so thankful for the memories and just be able to go with my family from Washington, and again, even be able to spend a couple more weeks in Washington with them, which may have been like one of my last times just being able to do that, since who knows where life will take me, and now I moved to Oklahoma. But it was definitely super fun, and I'm very thankful. That was my vlog, and I thought it would just be helpful just kind of like talk about it, since there wasn't a lot of talking throughout the vlogging of everything, and I hope it was fun to watch and hopefully it was helpful. I mean, if you're thinking about going on a cruise, I definitely do all your research you can. I definitely would kind of figure out, okay, what's necessary, what's not necessary, and all the things. But overall, I would definitely recommend Royal Caribbean. It was a really good experience, and yeah. Thank you so much for watching again, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. Again, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more videos of mine. I'm hoping to vlog more. I'm hoping to just share my life more in general. I love YouTube, like I said. I'm a huge YouTube viewer, and so I just kind of want to get into YouTube myself and connect with you guys. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye!